Hi there, this is video 533 on confidence intervals, and it's kind of about surveying. So it connects a little bit to the rest of the chapter because when you survey, you talk to part of the population. And when we were dealing with standard deviations and means, it was usually about the entire population. But really, it's impractical to always talk to everybody out there. So, for example, there was an online survey done by the Angus Reid Company that asked a specific question. Do you anticipate going back to your place of work as you did before the pandemic, or do you anticipate continuing to work from home? 433 Canadians responded, and 20% felt that they would continue working from home after the pandemic was over, which makes complete sense, right? There's going to be some jobs. What comes to mind is like IT professionals that they've discovered they can work from home just as well as they can work from anywhere else. And go a little rant here. I personally think it should not be teachers, or well, maybe more specifically, not this teacher. I would much rather be face to face with y'all. And then I had this part at the end with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%, 19 times out of 20. And that part seemed a little odd. But basically, what it is there's no way this company can survey everybody in Canada. It's too many people, excuse me, and especially if they're doing an online survey, not everybody has access to it, and not everybody's going to answer the question. So what they do is, instead of surveying the whole, talking to the whole population, all of Canadians, they take a sample or they survey a certain group. And that bolded information, the margin of error, and the 19 times out of 20 is kind of them saying, you know, this is how good we think our results are. And that's what this section is about, is just understanding what that margin of error and confidence interval means. All right, so the margin of error is, and I got this out of your textbook, so if you're thinking, I'm going to read the textbook and get something different, nope, pretty much right from there, is a possible difference between the values you are trying to estimate and the true value of the whole population. So in this case, the margin of error is 2.5%. So that part. And the margin of error is always going to be plus or minus something. It's often percent, but it'll say plus or minus, which is saying, here's the range. We think we're in here. And that range, by the way, is called the confidence interval. So according to the survey, 20% felt that they would continue work from home. And then it said the plus or minus 2.5 means that the real answer, okay, not just a sample, but if they talk to all Canadians, they figure it would be in a range from either 20, which is the result they published, minus 2.5%, which is 17.5%, and somewhere the kind of the top end of the range of what they expect would be 22.5%. So if they surveyed all Canadians, they might get 18, they might get 19.5, they might get 21.5, but they figure the answer is going to be between 17.5 and 22.5, somewhere in there. Okay, confidence interval, you take whatever value they give you, you subtract the margin of error to get the low end, you add the margin of error to get the high end. Okay, and then the last part is the confidence level. That's the weird part, that's 19 times out of 20. And it almost seems like almost every survey they do always has that one. Okay, so it's a likelihood that the survey represents the whole population. And again, often written as 19 times out of 20, or they might say 95%. And the reason that's an or is like if you go 19 divided by 20, it's 95%. So what that means is if the company did a survey, the same survey, and they did it 20 times. So let's say they had 20 workers, and each person phoned a different bunch of people 20 times. Okay, so 19 times of those, the results they got would be between, let's see, 17.5% and 22.5%. of the people they talked to would continue to work from home. The 20th time, the results would not be in that range. You know, just dumb luck, the guy that's doing the 20th survey or whatever, that one survey might just hit a bunch of people that are all working retail, and they're going, no, I cannot work from home. That's not going to work. Or he might hit, I don't know, the only thing I can think of is a bunch of IT, all I have is IT professionals where they're like, and he just happened to, by random chance, get a whole bunch of those guys, and it might be like 50% say they're going to be working from home. So 19 times out of 20, it's going to be between that range, and the 20th time, it's not. Just a general statement there. Usually the more people you survey, the closer your results are going to be. Right? I mean, that makes complete sense. If you talk to 3 people and said, so are you going to be working from home, or are you going to go back to work after this? You get some results. But 3 people certainly isn't going to represent everybody in Canada. These guys talked to 400. That's going to be a better example. But if you spend some time and talk to 5,000 people, the results that you're going to get are going to be closer to the actual population data than it is if you only did 3 people or 450. So again, the bigger your sample size, the lower your margin of error, right? And that is the end of this.